Let me ask you something. What if the person who saves your life is someone you've never even bothered to learn the name of? What if the hero in your story is pushing a mop cart at 2 a.m. while you're signing papers that will destroy everything you built? Tonight's story isn't about money. It's about loyalty. It's about unseen kindness. And it's about how the smallest act of generosity can come back when you need it most. If you believe character matters more than titles, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us what real leadership looks like. Now let me tell you about Eleanor Park. Eleanor Park was 48 years old, and at 2:03 a.m., she was staring at the end of her empire. The city skyline glowed outside her 42nd floor office window. The lights looked steady, permanent, confident. She did not feel the same. On her desk sat a stack of papers that would officially dissolve Luminary Systems, the tech company she had built from a spare bedroom startup into a billion-dollar cybersecurity powerhouse. 25 years of sacrifice. Countless sleepless nights, missed birthdays, missed holidays. A marriage that quietly collapsed under the weight of her ambition. By 9 a.m., it would all be gone. A rival firm had gutted her from the inside. Major clients disappeared one by one. Proprietary strategies showed up in competitor presentations. Her top engineer resigned unexpectedly. Confidential data somehow leaked in patterns too precise to be coincidence. Her legal team suspected corporate espionage. But suspicion wasn't proof, and banks don't operate on suspicion. They operate on numbers. Eleanor leaned back in her leather chair and closed her eyes. For the first time in decades, she had no solution. Just exhaustion, just failure. The soft squeak of wheels echoed in the hallway. The night cleaning crew. She'd seen one of them many times. An older man with silver hair, gentle posture, and a quiet presence. They'd exchanged polite nods, nothing more. She felt a strange wave of shame realizing she didn't know his name. The squeaking grew closer. Without thinking, Eleanor straightened the bankruptcy papers and then, impulsively, closed her eyes again. She didn't want to talk, didn't want sympathy, didn't want to explain. She let her breathing slow, pretended to be asleep. Through the glass wall of her office, she saw his figure approach. The door opened gently. The mop swished across the floor in soft strokes, careful, respectful. Then the sound stopped. Silence. She sensed him near her desk. Papers rustled. Then she heard something unexpected. A whisper. No. This can't be. Her heart skipped. More papers moving. A sharp inhale. Then his voice again, this time speaking quickly in Korean. She had studied it briefly in college and caught fragments. Cannot let this happen. Must call Daniel. Call Daniel? She heard her desk phone lift from its cradle. Her pulse quickened. What was happening? Was he calling someone? Was she about to be robbed on top of everything else? Daniel, it's your father, the man said quietly. His English was accented but steady. I need you to listen carefully. Eleanor kept her eyes shut, barely breathing. You remember the CEO I told you about? The one who funded the East Harbor Community Center 3 years ago? Eleanor's mind jolted. That donation had been anonymous. She'd created a small foundation and quietly funded several struggling community programs. She never wanted publicity. She just remembered what it felt like to grow up with nothing. She is in serious trouble, the janitor continued. She is being destroyed by someone stealing her information. A pause. Eleanor could faintly hear a voice through the receiver. I'm looking at documents on her desk, bankruptcy papers. And I see security logs open on her screen. Her stomach tightened. She has late-night access entries from Victor Hale's account, Victor Hale, her chief operating officer, her closest advisor for 9 years, the man she trusted with everything. I told you about the company that tried to recruit you last year, the janitor said. Orion Global. Eleanor's blood ran cold. Orion was the competitor dismantling her. Your girlfriend works in cybercrime at the bureau. Call her. Tonight. This cannot wait. Silence. Then, I'm taking photos. There are patterns here. Access times, file transfers. This is corporate espionage. Eleanor felt tears slide from beneath her closed eyelids. I know it's late, he continued. But she helped our community when no one else would. She gave without wanting recognition. We don't forget that. Another pause. Yes, I love you too. Hurry. The phone clicked down. She heard the subtle sound of a phone camera snapping photos. Her computer mouse clicking. He was gathering evidence. He was protecting her. I'm sorry for intruding, Ms. Park, he whispered softly, thinking she couldn't understand. But you showed kindness to strangers. Tonight I return it. The mop cart wheels squeaked again as he left. Eleanor sat alone in the darkness. No longer pretending, just crying, not from fear. From realization. Victor. She opened her eyes and checked the security logs. There they were. Dozens of after-hours logins from Victor's credentials. Downloads. Encrypted transfers. 6 months of betrayal. Her phone rang at 2:51 a.m. Ms. Park, a calm female voice asked. This is Agent Sophia Martinez. Within minutes, the pieces began moving. Digital warrants, data tracking, account tracing. Could she keep Victor unaware until morning? Yes, Eleanor said steadily. I can. At 7:10 a.m., Victor walked into her office holding 2 coffees. Big day, he said softly, wearing his usual sympathetic expression. You holding up? Eleanor met his eyes calmly. Better than you think. At 7:18 a.m., federal agents entered the building. At 7:23 a.m., they entered her office. Victor Halle? The color drained from his face, the look of disbelief. The sudden understanding, it was over. By noon, the bankruptcy signing was postponed. By the end of the week, Orion executives were under investigation. Evidence poured in once the first thread unraveled. Victor had underestimated digital footprints and overestimated his invisibility. Clients returned. Investors reconsidered. Luminary systems survived. But Eleanor knew something deeper had changed. 2 days later, she found the janitor cleaning the 18th floor conference room. Mr. Lee, she said. She had finally learned his name. He looked terrified. I'm sorry, Ms. Park. I shouldn't have touched your phone. You saved my company. He shook his head gently. You saved my community first. She handed him a folder. I'm creating a new executive role, she said. Director of Integrity and Community Strategy. His eyes widened. It pays $125,000 a year. He stepped back. I only finished high school, she smiled softly. You have a doctorate in character. He accepted the folder with trembling hands. And I'm increasing our community investment fund to $10 million annually, she added. I want you overseeing it. 6 months later, Luminary Systems was stronger than ever. But Eleanor had changed more than the company. She knew the names of every cleaning staff member, every security guard, every cafeteria worker. She listened. She noticed. She showed up. On the anniversary of that October night, she stood before her entire company. A year ago, I nearly lost everything, she said. I lost sight of what mattered. She glanced at Mr. Lee in the front row. I missed the traitor in the boardroom, but I also almost missed the hero pushing a mop cart. The room filled with applause. Leadership isn't about titles, she continued. It's about who you are when no one important is watching, she smiled. He thought I was asleep that night, she paused. But that was the night I finally woke up. And maybe that's the real lesson. The people you overlook may be the ones holding your future in their hands. Kindness compounds. Integrity protects. And heroes don't always wear suits, sometimes. They carry mop carts at 2 a.m. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes the smallest act of goodness becomes the reason everything survives.